One of the most dreaded things about live streaming is when you're using filler words while delivering your content. So what's a filler word? That's when you say or ah or while you are talking. And oftentimes we use this as content creators to give ourselves a little bit of space to think. Sometimes we need a minute to think about what we're going to say next, or we're unsure of what someone just said. And we use those to kind of give ourselves just a little breathing room. But by using those filler words, we're losing a lot of our audience. It makes us sound like we don't know what we're talking about, we are unprepared, and it can be really difficult to listen to if someone is saying every couple of words in a sentence. So how do we remove these filler words? How do we get rid of these so that we know what we're going to be doing and we don't have to have that fear of the constant following us around? As somebody who has done this for a really long time, I've developed some really great ways to make it easier for me. And now I don't really say the word or ah or as I'm having my live streams. And you can do the same thing too. The first thing is to know your content so dang well that you just have an easy time talking about it. That's the overarching answer for this. But then there's things that you can be doing to actually help and actually train yourself not to do it. So knowing your content super, super well leaves very little room for you to stumble over your words. So as a general thought, when you're having these conversations, know your content really, really well. But let's get practical. I want you to be practicing that you cannot say those words while you're working. That was a weird sentence. I want you to be practicing your words so that you don't have to stumble over them. I want you to know what you're going to be talking about. So I want you to practice during pockets of time. You do things where you're not doing other things and you have the space to just have conversations. So if you know you have some subject coming up that you're going to be talking about, or if you just want to have conversations without saying practice during your pockets of time. When you're in the car, you can practice giving these speeches. When you are doing the dishes, you're not really doing other things while you're doing the dishes, so practice your upcoming live stream. You're not doing things in the shower where you're engaging your mind, you're just washing your hair. So practice during those pockets of time. The more you give that same speech over and over again, the better you get at it, the more concise your words, and the less likely you are to have to say or ah as you are going to be going through that conversation. But you don't just have to practice on the things that you're going to be giving specifically. I want you to start practicing mini speeches. That means literally anything that pops into your mind, you're giving mini speeches on. If you are in the shower and you're washing your hair, I want you to give a mini speech on the episode of the TV show that you watched last night. Tell me everything that happened. Go through the timeline of that episode. Tell me about the characters. Tell me what happened, and have that conversation as if you were giving a mini presentation on it. Pretend it's a book report and do it to the water in the shower. You don't have to do that in a way that is going to be up front and in front of everybody. Just have conversations about the road. You can narrate your drive in the car and practice speaking so that it's easier for you to have that conversation. So that's content that you don't know, that you're not familiar with. So at the top of this, I said, know your content so well that you're not going to stumble over it. I also want to make sure that you are able to have those conversations with things that you haven't done before. So if you don't know what the traffic is going to be like and you can narrate that for me, that levels up your skills. If you are doing something around the house and you're telling me about that TV show or that podcast that you listen to, and you're able to then go through that in a way that is easy to understand and communicates to me what happened, you're going to be better for it, because now if you get thrown during your live streams or during your public speaking gigs, you have the ability to then twist your thought process to get back to where you're going. So if you get lost, if you stumble, if you have something come up that is out of what you had planned, you're still able to have those conversations about it. And of course, you can also film this. The things that I've told you so far don't necessarily involve filming. It's not meant to be seen by anybody, and this isn't either. But if you have the ability, you can sit down in front of a camera and have those discussions. Talk right to the camera lens, have those conversations, give those mini speeches, give the conversations that you're going to do on live streams, and practice. Then you can go back and you can critique yourself so that you do better. You can look and say, oh, this is the time when I get a little confused. This is the time when I stumble. Maybe it's when you're hitting your buttons for your live stream that you have to pause and think about hitting the button and talking. And sometimes that makes you stumble a little bit. You can then practice that and do better. If you know that it's when you're looking around and trying to engage with your audience, if you're in a live setting or if you're working with multiple cameras, you know that that can be a trigger for you. So you can then avoid that. Critiquing yourself so that you sound better and then practicing those things can really help you to level up if you are going to be using that to better what you're doing on your live streams. Now, we are doing a full live stream series here on the channel, helping you break down your live streams to level up, to get more confident, and to do better with the live streamings on a monetary basis to make sure that you're building up your brand properly. So drop your questions, follow along. We're doing our typical tutorials on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and content creation as well. But I wanted to jump back into a little piece of live stream action plan for you guys to help you level up, especially as live streaming is becoming more and more and more interesting on social media. So drop your questions, follow along for the full series, and we'll see you in the upcoming episodes.